Zoll R Series, no power issue. So, there's the unit. That's the actual face of it. Original tech said the battery was no good and the AC charger module needed to be replaced. I'm not sure where he gets that, because when I first got it, yeah, battery was toast. Put in the reconditioner, don't worry about that name. And it charged up. I mean, thank God it's reconditioning. And both the battery and AC lights came on, so it was getting power. Here's your AC module, or charger module, everything, if you're interested. Plug goes in right there, if you see that black guy. Comes in right here, your inlet module, cables, shit, all the good stuff. Here's the cable that goes to the board underneath. I have one apart already. And that plugs into paste module. Plugs in right here. And then these two cables go up to your battery well and the battery charger. Here's your battery well. I just plug in right there. Printer board sits there, or printer module, whatever sits there. So this is the system brick assembly. This is where the problem really was. It's 3 boards sandwiched together. Let's see. Let's put this in the right spot. Here's what the system brick assembly looks like. It's these 4 boards all sandwiched together. These little anchor spots sit here, and 50 million little screws that go around holding all these little standoffs together. Anyway, so an SPO2, this is the isolated power supply. SPO2 board would sit here. This is part of the isolated power supply. It's not the issue. Here is the digital board. This was my issue. These are the connectors where the front display connects to. That is these 3 cables right here. 1, 2, 3. Printer module connects there. Coin battery. Speaker plugs in over there. So underneath this. Now, when you're separating these, you gotta look out. So, you see these pins, to keep them straight and keep them safe, they have 50 million of these little buggers just sitting near the pins. So if you pull it off without paying attention, they're just gonna fall right off. Take that board off. Here is your analog board. Doesn't go shit. There we go. Underneath that is the paste defibrillator engine. So, that's where your battery plugs in, and that sends that signal up there for everything to run. But it's also, there's your big capacitor for discharging. This is all your defib function. All fun stuff. Transformers, caps, all the big stuff you're looking for. A lot tinier than I used to have on the old HP Codemasters, right? Look at this thing. This bad boy, that's the cap. Also, 60 million little connectors sitting here for this pin configuration. Let's see how this thing go back together. And there's your system brick assembly. Now examining, originally I thought maybe the analog board was the issue. Went through the whole thing swapping that out. And that's got that really annoying cable. If you've never disassembled this, there's this connector right here. As you see, I ripped it off. Way back here. And this is why they want you to remove this entire section. So you have better access to it. Also, disconnecting it, not so hard from underneath, but connecting it, pain in the ass. Even though, yes, I had some problems disconnecting it. You really got to heat up this glue so it doesn't rip out the connector. Sorry, can't see that guy. That guy. Yeah, it's fucked. Anyway, that used to connect there. Wasn't really concerned. This was a parts unit anyway. But ultimately, this ended up being my problem. Nothing visually wrong with it that I can see. I have to put, check some fuses and some stuff just to get so I just like to have an idea what's wrong with it. Coin battery's fine. No visible damage, except where I ripped this connector off. Oops. Yeah, that sucks. Anyway. There's your shell. Connectors on the side. This parts unit had NIBP, hence that hose. There's a big pump that sits right here. Side panels. Printer module I was talking about. Here, this is your NIBP connection. See, there's your pump. And there's the board. That just plugs into the top right there. It sits right here. Yeah. So that's it, but swap that, put it back together, half back together, just enough to get here, and boom, I got a screen, because originally this was black, no noise, no anything. So there you go. That is your Zoll R Series, no power issue.